haven't been here for a while. Excuse me for a minute. Because I believe that makes you hear me much better. So let me see. I think I'm back on. We may have to change our settings, but let's try this. So this morning I had 3 words. My 3 words were, have no fear. It's a big one. It's a big one for me. I feel like I've held myself back my entire life out of fear. So I made a list of my greatest fears today. And I'd love it when you join me. If you could tell me some of your fears. And I'll keep repeating that. Hopefully I get some joiners this morning. I haven't been around in a while. My fear this morning is that you guys have forgotten about me. I've run you off by going out and traveling around and not paying attention to you, and I'm sorry. So, for the replay, as you guys watch later on, I'm going to start listing some of my fears, and I have a feeling that our fears overlap quite a bit. I have a fear of failure. I have a fear of failure that's so strong that I fail because I'm afraid to fail. How is that? I think that's pretty common. We can talk ourselves right out of stepping out into the world, out of a fear of falling on our faces, a fear that nobody will accept us, that whatever we try to do, it's just going to be a failure anyway, so it's easier just to sit here in my room and hide myself and not do anything. I can be afraid of failure as far as my writing is concerned. I can be afraid of the fact that nobody will want to read it, nobody will get anything from it, of putting it out there in the first place, of writing something that feels like a child to me and then pushing it out the door and expecting people to accept it. And what if they don't accept it? That can really hold me back. I can be afraid of one big one. I can be afraid of allowing gifts to come in, allowing myself to truly feel spirit, to admit to myself and to others that I feel spirit. I can be afraid of ridicule. That's on my list. Ridicule. Being ridiculed by people. Having people fall away. Family members that may not understand, or friends. People that I've known all my life. They can look at me and think, she's just gotten a little crazy. I don't want anything to do with that. And they fall away. And I'm afraid of that sometimes. And I think it's important to not be afraid of that. Not everyone is going to understand the path that we choose. We still have to go down the path that we're meant to go down. Even if people choose not to understand, it's okay. People will always have that need to judge. So it's okay. Can't stop it. I can't control how other people feel about me. And so that is a fear that needs to be let go. I need to let go of that. I'm afraid of change. I think we're all afraid of change. I'm not as afraid as a lot of people. I kind of feed off of change. I kind of enjoy change. Maybe I enjoy it too much. Maybe my fear is more in settling in. I've never been good at settling in. I kind of thrive off of something new, something different. I want to see the world. I want to get out there. So I'm not so afraid of change. I guess it depends on what kind of change. We're afraid of losing people that we love. That's a big change. That's a hard one. Something that I never want to face again, and yet I know that I will. So that in that way, change scares me. Fear of pain. We're afraid of pain. We're afraid of death because we're afraid it's going to hurt. I got a big message from Steve yesterday. I wish that I could find it. I could read it to you, because it was all about death is not painful. Death is beautiful. In the letting go, in that final release, pain is completely gone. There is no more pain. There's only beauty. There's no discomfort. There's no hunger. There's no thirst. There's no want. It's only beauty. So there's no fear in death for me. I know better. Fear of success. I have a fear of success. Can you imagine? I have a fear of failure and a fear of success. Maybe that goes with change. I'm kind of afraid of succeeding because I don't know what to expect. So it's the unknown thing again. So once again, I hear in my head, have no fear. Success is not something to be afraid of. Let's see, what else? Fear of being alone. Fear of being alone is a big one for me. I have always been so afraid of being left alone. Since I was a child, I was afraid of being left alone. I'm learning something this past year. I've learned something big. In losing Steve, it was, you know what? I was left alone. I stayed alone for a while. I still had my kids, but as far as having that partner in life, I didn't have one. I had to learn to love me. I learned to be my own partner. And I still hold on to that. Even now in a relationship, I'm okay. I'm okay should he choose to step away. I'm okay because I've learned to love me and I've learned to be my own partner. I've learned to stand strong in who I am. So that's one fear I hope that I've conquered, although I haven't completely. I know last week it hit me again. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of him leaving. I was that little girl whose father left often, and so I learned that people don't stay. I remember when Steve got sick, I had had a long, not a very nice marriage already, almost 20 years. So here I am, this little girl whose father left a lot, and then I was left alone with 6 kids to raise. And then Steve came along and he changed my world. He taught me what it was to be loved every day, no matter what. No matter what. On my good days and bad days, on the mean days, on the happy days, whatever mood I was in, whatever I looked like, if I was sick and looked like death, he still loved me. He loved me no matter what. And I remember when he was diagnosed, I was like, but you were the one that was never going to leave. And then he did. And then I realized he didn't. And he's still teaching me today. There are those in your life that are meant to be there and that are never going to leave, no matter what. How beautiful is that? What a lesson he taught me. Let's see, what other fears do I have? I have fear of people. Less and less these days. I'm learning to enjoy getting out and meeting people. How interesting people are, each one of us, and we're all connected. I love that Neil Donald Walsh thing that he does, that is where he says, there I am. As we walk down the street and we see a homeless person, we see a rich man, or we see anything in between, a baby, someone who's handicapped, someone who's hurting, someone who's happy, someone who's wealthy, someone who's poor. We look at those people and we say, there I am. There I am, homeless on the streets. There I am, having a great dinner at that restaurant. There I am, riding that roller coaster. There I am, being hungry, being alone. There I am. And when we learn to do that, it changes. I no longer have fear of other people. I find compassion and love. It changes us. I'm still not perfect. And I still have my times when I judge or look down. But I'm getting better. I'm trying really hard to get better at that one. Let's see. What else? That hits most of mine. As you guys come on and you watch this later on, list some and I'll answer. We'll see if we can come up with some fears that we have. I have a fear of sharks. I have a big fear of sharks. It's ridiculous, my fear of sharks. It stems back to the drive-in theater. I think I was 5 or 6, watching Jaws and hiding under the seat. I was terrified. I'm still terrified of sharks. I still hate to go in the ocean. I love to go to the ocean. I'm afraid to swim in the ocean, and it's a ridiculous fear. It really is. Because other people are out there swimming and they're not getting eaten alive, but I have a fear. I haven't gotten over that one yet. Maybe one of these days I will. So what are your ridiculous fears and what are your real fears? I'd love for you guys to get back to me when you get time. I know I came on here really quickly with very little warning. I didn't give you guys any time. My fear, too, is getting organized. Apparently, I have a fear of that. My fear is doing a regular show, and it's something that needs to be done. It's something that Spirit has really been pushing at me. You know what? If you would do this regularly, people would actually know when you were on and they might join you. So I will work on that, too. My life has been crazy. It's hard for me to say, yes, I can do this at a certain time, but yet I know that I need to. So I will be better about that. So I'm pulled back into something today as I'm really thinking about this fear thing. I remember when she's now 18, when she was little, she had no fear. Some kids are born with so much fear. I have 6 altogether, and some of them, my first, she had so much fear. It took her forever to learn to walk. She was afraid to let go of my finger and walk by herself. Now I look at her at 27, and she has no fear. She still has fears, but she is so brave that she overcomes them, and she's out there living in a city, going to school, doing things that I never had the strength or the bravery to do. So I'm so proud of her. But then I had some. And that 18-year-old, oh wow, she wasn't afraid of anything. She would go on roller coasters when she was 2. They were the kiddie coasters. We couldn't get her off of them. And then as she got older, she would just go on anything. I believe she would jump from planes. I believe she would do just about anything. She has fear of people now. It's changed. But as far as her when she was little, when she was a child, she wasn't afraid. And that's how I long to be now. And I think that's how we all need to be, is more like that little child that has not learned to be afraid yet. Not learn to be afraid, they just step out. They walk right up. I remember my little ones when they would just walk right up and smile at somebody. You'd be pushing them in a stroller through the mall and they would be smiling at everybody and hi, waving and just unafraid of people. We have to learn that skill again. We have to let go of those parts of us that learned to be afraid from the time we were children and reach out. And in a grander sense, when we learn to let go of our fears, we allow abundance into our lives. We allow an abundance of love. We allow an abundance of people, of our tribe. We start to gather tribe members, and we have to learn to not be afraid of those people that are meant to be in our lives. I still sometimes can cut people out. I can step away from people out of a fear, ridiculous fears of maybe they don't think the best of me, maybe they don't really like me, maybe they don't want to spend time with me. There's this part of me that learned that as a young child in school, and it's still there. So for me today, this lesson is truly for me, and I hope it touches other people's hearts. It is this list that I've made of myself. These are the things that I want to overcome. I want to climb mountains. I want to swim in the ocean. I want to take a cruise ship ride. I want to jump from airplanes. I want to do those things that I'm afraid of, because as I conquer my fears, I become stronger and stronger, and I realize that there's really nothing to be afraid of. We are always protected. We are always loved. The worst that's going to happen is I'm going to die and I'm going to wake up in paradise. You know, there's really nothing that I have to be afraid of. And as I learn that, I can feel it coming into me right now. As I learn that in every way possible, as I stretch my wings, as I go places I've never been and click things off of my bucket list and stand on the edge of cliffs, and as I learn to not be afraid, I allow abundance into my life. I allow new opportunities to flow. It's like a piece of me is clicking back into place and realizing my own greatness. You are great too. You are so much more than you've been led to believe. And so, let go. Learn to let go of the fears. Let go of that rope that's holding you back. You're clinging to it so tightly out of fear of letting go because you don't know what's down there. You're afraid that if you fall in there, there's going to be a circle of sharks waiting for you. Don't hold on so tightly. Learn to let go. Loosen the grip of fear. Let go. Just let go sometimes. If it's scaring you, it's the first thing you need to walk into. If you're afraid of walking into that room for fear people will judge you, walk into that room. If you're afraid to jump from that airplane, jump from the airplane, because those are the things when we do it, a part of us clicks back into place and we start to remember that we are superheroes and capable of so much more than we've been trained to believe. And as we do that, we just expand and expand and expand and expand. There's no stopping us. We can just keep growing. We can just keep receiving. We're in a time of abundance. The only thing that holds us back from that abundance is letting those fears click back into our brain. We're holding ourselves back. No more holding back. Go with me. Let's step out. Let's let go of our fears. Let's step out. Let's make a difference. Let's create a new world together. With all of us together, we can do it. We are doing it. I can see it. And that's all I have for you today. Step out of fear. Have no fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. Have yourself a beautiful, beautiful week. I will try to make this a regular thing. I don't know what time. You guys, if you watch this and you have a favorite time to be on Facebook, let me know. I'll see if I can make this more organized. I promise. I'll let go of my fear of organization for you guys. I love you. Have a great week.